Hello guys, welcome to the third video tutorial on Python programming for beginners. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use variables in Python. So I'm assuming that you don't have any prior programming knowledge. So I'm going to tell you the basics of variables first. So basically, what is a variable? Variable is a container for some value. This value can be an integer. This value can be a string of words. This value can be a float value or different kind of values. So what is a variable? Variable is a container for the values. So for example, how you can declare variable in Python? First of all, you need to give a name of the variable. So for example, I can declare a name of a variable like my variable is equal to, and this is equal to sign you use between the value and the name of the variable. Okay, so this is the name of the variable is equal to, you can assign some value to the variable, for example 30. Now my variable has the value of 30. So my variable is a container for the value 30, right? And generally it's the convention that whenever you use or declare a variable, it's not necessary, but it's a good programming habit that you separate your variable name. If you have something like my variable, the first word of your variable name starts from small letter, and then the second word first letter starts from big or capital case, and the other letters are small. And this way it will work like, for example, I want to give the variable name is equal to my variable name. It will be like this. Okay, so it's like camel case. It's called a camel case declaration. So start with small letter, and then the second word first letter is the capital, third word first letter is the capital, just like this. Okay, so just follow the convention like this. It's not necessary, but it's good. Now when I press enter, now my variable has the value of 30. So once again, when I call my variable and press enter, it gives me 30 because my variable is equal to 30 now. Now Python is a case sensitive language. So if you write my with a capital M variable and press enter, it will give you an error because this variable name is different from this variable name, because this is case sensitive. So just remember this. Okay, so these are the two things. Now why we exactly use variable in any programming language? So variables are generally used whenever you don't know what values you are going to deal with. So for example, you are going to deal with some values which are inputted by the users. Now first of all, this variable you can use it as, for example, for adding something. So I can just call my variable plus, so plus 34, and it will give me the result. Yeah, this is, you see, I haven't spelled this my variable correct, so it gives me an error. Okay, so my variable plus 34, and it gives me 64. Okay, so now you can perform math operation using this variable also. Okay, now the real use of this variable, you can you can perform every math operation on this variable because it has some value which is an integer, right? So you can do a variable to the power or exponent 3, it gives the answer, and in the same way it will give you an answer for every math operation. Now the real use, let's see some use for variable. So for example, I declare a variable called value, okay, and this value is equal to whatever user inputs from uh, the user input, okay. So how you can provide a user input in Python? You just use the inbuilt function called input. So this is an inbuilt function in Python, which will allow you to enter any value. So you can just write enter the value. But there is a problem with this, that this input, whatever user enters, will be a string, okay. So let me give you an example. When I press enter, now it gives me the prompt that enter the value, and I can enter any value, for example 50, and press enter, and now this value, which is a variable value, has the value of 50. So whenever I call value, it has the value of 50. But notice this value is a string. It's between this single quotes. So whenever I want to perform some addition, so value plus something 20, it will give me an error. See, it gives me an error. Why it's giving me an error? Because this value, which is 50, is a string, because whenever we use input function to input value, it takes this value as a string, okay. And whenever you see something in single quote, that means it's a string. Whenever you have the single quotes around your value, it's a string, okay. Now in order to convert your string to an integer, you can cast the string. So I'm going to just copy this. You can just copy this and paste it here. And in order to cast this value to an integer, what you do, just go with before your input. So value is equal to, just write int. So this is type casting of string to the integer, okay, and just close it from here, okay. So when you do this, this will be your string. So input will be taken as a string, and this int will convert your string to the integer, okay. And now when you press enter and you give some value, for example 60, value is equal to 60, and now you call value, not well, but value, it has the value of 60. And notice that earlier this 50 is enclosed in single quotes, but this time it's not enclosed in single quotes. That means it's a number, right? Now I can perform some math operation on this, like this: value plus 50 multiplied by 60 something. It will not give me an error this time. So always remember, whenever you want an integer as an input, you need to cast this into the integer. And casting means to convert your string to the integer. You can cast this to the float value like this. For example, you can just copy this once again, paste it here, and you can cast this like float. So float is a decimal point value, okay. So you can cast your value as a float, and now when you enter, you can just try 50.134 for whatever, and then call value, and it has the value of 50 point whatever, okay. So variables are useful whenever you don't know what values you are going to deal with, okay. So that's all about variables. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.